Hello. Today I'm here with author Mr. Larry Johnson-Redd. That's a mouthful, but he is fantastic and full of wealth of information. So today we're going to talk about his 6 books. We're going to talk about Larry's past projects, current projects, future projects, and then we'll also give you some bonus information. And let me say that this is in honor of Black History Month, 2019. Hello, Mr. Larry Ukali Johnson-Redd, and how are you today?
That was a mouthful.
That was, wasn't it?
Yes, but I'm fine. I'm happy to be here with you.
Great.
And I love this location, so thank you for coming on up to Pittsburgh, California.
And you know, while we're on that subject, before we get to the books, let's talk about where we are.
Okay.
Now, we're at the African and Caribbean food store.
Yes, it's actually called Big Ma.
Okay.
But it is an Afro-Caribbean food source.
Okay.
On the front side there is a market with all types of food coming from the Caribbean and Nigeria and other parts of Africa.
Okay, so that's what I saw when I walked in the store. It's a market. It looks wonderful.
And then back here is actually a restaurant. And this is where I come to eat Nigerian food.
I know you rave about this place. So I'm like, okay, well, let me take my camera to Larry. It sounds like a good location. So why don't we talk about what you're eating? What are you eating?
Well, this is jollof rice with fish. But I'm also known for coming in here and eating pounded yam and egusi soup.
Egusi soup? What's that?
What? Egusi is it's a melon seed that they use to thicken soup. Because African soups are really thick with, lots of onions and vegetables and greens and everything. So, but this is jollof rice. And it kind of reminds me of dirty rice that my grandmother talked about in Louisiana.
Yeah.
So, and also I'm sure there's some Mediterranean dishes like this. But this jollof rice is served all along the coast from Nigeria and Cameroon all the way to Senegal.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and I know you've traveled a lot.
Well, I traveled a lot, but I did, all over Nigeria. I went to Nigeria, north, south, east, and west. But I didn't get to any of the other countries. But when it comes to Nigeria, I was pretty much all over the place.
Oh, that is wonderful. And while we're at it, let's thank the owners for allowing us to do this interview in their place of business, their restaurant.
Yes.
And tell me their names again, because I don't want to get it wrong.
It's called Big Ma Market, and they sell African and Caribbean foods, as well as serve Nigerian dishes in the restaurant section. And it's all in one building.
Okay. So thank you, Catherine.
And yes, her name is Catherine Ijoma.
Okay, thank you, Catherine and Peter. Yeah. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Love, thank you. Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about you.
Okay.
Now the first book that I have down is Long Distance Love. Is that your first book?
Actually not.
But, tell me about your first book.
Okay, this is the first book here.
Okay.
And I wrote this when I first got back from Nigeria in 1983. It's called The Black Expatriate in Africa. You won't see it there.
I don't have that on here. Oh, tell me about it.
It grew into this. When I got back here, most African Americans, even most Americans, what do you mean expatriate? They just didn't know what that was. It wasn't popular then to have expatriate workers. But I was an expatriate in Nigeria. And in Nigeria, most expatriates are white.
Now tell me, before we go any farther, what is an expatriate?
It's a foreign worker.
Oh, expatriate. Literally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what that was what was exciting about it to me, was being a black expatriate in Nigeria, because I'm still black, and when I go to Nigeria, no one knows I'm an American until I speak.
So why do they call you an expatriate?
Anybody who's a foreign worker is called an expatriate.
Oh, so if you're not, if we're not born there, that's not our natural heritage. They call us an expatriate because we're black. We're an expatriate.
But also my father-in-law, my late wife's father, he was from the South. So they called him an expatriate for working in the North. So I mean, it's can be used in hilarious ways. So that's why I called it. I felt it was ironic to be an expatriate in my motherland.
Okay, so finish telling me about it.
Okay, so after I went to New York and I sold 250 copies in 1 week at the street fair in Brooklyn.
Let's see this. Let me hold it up to make sure.
So, but after I realized, you know, that they were not, it's not going to fly too much because no one knows what an expatriate is. In 2002, I came out with Journey to the Motherland from San Francisco to Benin City, and you would know what that is.
That's
right
number
upon
2.
the book. Yeah.
Journey to the Motherland from San Francisco to
Benin City.
Benin City. Tell us about this.
Well, this is a book about my 4 years in Nigeria as a teacher, and I taught government.
Oh my!
And my first day, I taught government, you know, because I took 3 months to learn the Nigerian Constitution and the Nigerian, what you would call their outline, you know, their government outline, which was similar to ours. It was a comparative cabinet system of government and presidential system of government. So, and I also had to learn the pre-colonial government of Nigeria. Like in the north, they had more or less indirect rule because they could rule through the emir. But in the south, they had direct rule. And that meant they had demonstrations and they were fighting for independence. So it was a struggle more in the south because of the fact that they didn't have one traditional leader like the north, and also because there was a lot of tension because people didn't want to see their resources leaving the country. And I'll give you an example of that. The Nigerians like to drink this palm wine. And they, yeah, it comes from certain palm trees. It's sweet in the morning, very hard at night. I mean, it gets sour and it's hard and it gets stronger. But they would process it through their own process, and it would become clear in 150 proof. Okay. But when the British came, they suppressed it. They called it illicit gin. And then the British said, buy Gordon's. In other words, don't buy that illicit gin anymore. Buy Gordon's. They were pushing their own product. Okay. And so that's how Nigeria, now they still brought the natural process back. Okay. So now that the British have left, you can buy ogogoro or kai kai for about 50 cents a cup. Okay, now what is it? It's beer, you said? Oh no, I mean, when they first get it, it's a wine. It's a wine? Palm tree. Okay. But after they do their processes to it, it becomes a clear liquid and it's 150 proof. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's like they condense it, make it a condensed product? It's called native gin. Native gin. Well, I heard that. Yeah. Wow. But the British saw an opportunity and said, don't buy native gin, buy Gordon. You know. Now, you went to the motherland. Tell me about your journey. Okay, so first of all, I was a graduate of USF at 23, 22, and I got my master's at 24, but I found jobs very difficult. And all the time, my late wife was saying, you know, if you ever go to Nigeria, your dignity as a black man will be challenged and you will be employed. On those two promises, that was absolutely true. I was always employed in Nigeria, and I never had my dignity as a black man challenged. Wow, so, that's special. Wow, it sounds like I could sleep at night. You know, a lot of things we worry about here, you know, our young men and all of our people, you know, being harmed just because of the color of our skin. It's nice to be in a place where you don't even have to worry about that. That's not even an issue. You're not even thinking about racism because everybody is black and everybody is saying, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yeah. Very nicely mannered in the country. Wow. I love it. When I started teaching in the school, my students, they didn't know who I was. So they said, who is this guy? You know, then they spoke a little bit of broken English. You know, I learned broken English before I got there. So I heard them say, who is this man, Seth? What an African-American or Jamaican? And so I called those 3 guys out. And there was a hush in the classroom. They said, he understands broken. So they know they're not supposed to speak broken in school. But in Benin City, there are so many different tribes that broken English is like a lingua franca on the street. But not in school. In school, you have to speak proper English. Oh, wow. That is fantastic. So after that, I had no problems with them. And it was always a very, very interesting class. They really wanted to know about the 3 branches of government because they had lived under 12 years of military experience. So the government coming back in was new. And so the 1979 Constitution allowed students to be so interested that they would come to my class and sit outside so they could hear what does this American man say about the new constitution they had in Nigeria.
Right.
Yeah. So
this is so interesting.
Yeah,
wow.
And I traveled north, south, east, and west in Nigeria. I lived in Zaria. I lived in Lagos. I lived in Benin City. Of course, that's where I ended up. That ended up being my home for Nigeria. But also because my wife was from the east, I had to go there and do a native law and custom marriage to her.
Tell me about that.
Well,
if you're not from there, you have to go through.
Well, my father-in-law, he is from Madison, Wisconsin. He had studied here. So he told me, he said, you know, I know you've been married for 3 years, and I respect your marriage. He said, but in my village, if you don't go there and do a native law and custom, then they will throw me under the barrel because I didn't respect the culture enough to let you know what you needed to do to make your marriage whole.
Now, what does that consist of?
Well, I brought some spirits, some drinks. I brought materials. They gave me almost $500 worth of things to bring.
Wow.
Now, they had already thought about it. He's a teacher, and the Nigerian teachers don't get millions of dollars, just like anywhere else.
Right.
But they gave me a list of things to bring, and I got them, including a goat and a chicken.
Oh, my.
And I brought the chicken and
whole goat?
A whole goat.
Was
a live goat. Yes. He made noise from Benin City all the way to her village in Imo State. But he was right in the back seat.
Sounds like you had a dowry it sounds almost like a dowry.
It was a dowry, but they exempted me from the dowry because they said, well, you know, he's a teacher.
Oh, well, that was nice. They know you didn't make much money.
Right.
So they had you bring things that you could afford.
Right. Materials, stuff, you know, all the traditional things that said, I want this woman.
And then sounds like it was about the respect of doing it. It's not about the expense, the cost of what you did.
It was about the respect. And it's also, they said that they don't believe in divorce. So if you have any problem with our daughter,
don't bring her back.
Bring her back and we'll settle it.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Because they didn't want no divorce.
Oh, now that is a new one. When someone says, bring her back. Because over here in America, you know, they say don't bring her back. Right. You can't return her.
Well, I know now, these days, the Nigerians probably have had a growth in their divorce rate, but traditionally, there was no divorce.
Wow.
So
that is fantastic. Okay, we're going to take a break. Let's take a break, and then we'll be right back. Great. Okay, thanks. Okay, we're back with Mr. Larry Johnson-Redd, and he's telling us about the book, Journey to the Motherland. Okay, Larry.
Well, I have this poem I've written at the sort of at the end, but believe you me, I was a new face in Nigeria, and I was treated very well. The hospitality is overwhelming. Everybody wants to take you home or invite you to a party or, you know, invite you to be a guest at their event. And so this poem kind of summarizes my trip to Nigeria, but it doesn't tell the story. It was a long 4 years. But the Journey to the Motherland is the name of the poem.
Okay.
Journey to the Motherland by an African American. A journey by air, a journey to share. Journey if you dare, follow me and go there. Journey to the Motherland by a San Francisco-born black man. This is part of a true story, to see what my land would show me, about a San Francisco homie. Some of you know me. My journey to Nigeria by way of Liberia. North, south, east, and west, I like the Midwest the best. My journey started in Lagos, traveled north to Kaduna, Zaria, Kano, traveled south to Benin and Port Harcourt, and then the east, always promoting peace. Journey to my land, journey to feel and understand, journey to our ancestors' land, journey to the motherland.
Wow, that is powerful. I love it. I love your work. That's why I'm like, okay, I have to put him on camera. I need an interview with Mr. Larry.
Yes.
That is wonderful. Okay, and the next book is?
The next book is called History to Destiny through Afrocentric Poetry.
And we're sharing them in the order that you wrote them,
yes,
right? Okay, great.
And Journey to the Motherland includes a lot of the story. As I learned it when I was 16, that's when I started writing various spoken word pieces. As African American and African history became truer to me, I had to respond to it. And so this poem has the one piece I've had on the radio actually to do it 2 times. And this one's called Breathing While Black.
Thank you.
One day a brother was arrested for breathing while black.
Wow.
A sister was arrested for driving while black. Too many times it's just like that when our folks are arrested, breathing while black. Amadou Diallo murdered, and that's a fact, because one morning he was walking while black. We all know someone, we know it's a fact, arrested for no good reason, driving while black. And the Haitian brother Louima, who was subjected to an attack, assaulted with a stick, living while black. Another brother is about to be jacked, and his only crime, breathing while black. Walking while black, talking while black, running while black, thinking while black, driving while black, working while black, living while black, breathing while black in Black History Month. You know?
Wow.
African American history,
12
months a year. Because our story was left out of the school curriculum. I'm a teacher and an educator.
All they told us was that we were slaves.
Right,
I used to hate that class.
But there are so many versions of history. And the one in school is the billionaire version of history, and we have to know our own history.
That's right. That's right.
So it's called African American History 12 months a year. Africa is old and new. We are too. With love, there's nothing to fear. Celebrate our history 12 months a year. Our blood is old. Our blood is new. Our blood is preserved by Dr. Charles Drew. We still love our okra and our greens, our grits, our food, and other African things. With our African roots, our history is clear. However, we live right here. Keep the best of the old and the new. The solution is near. Celebrate African American history 12 months a year.
That's right.
So, yeah, that's it.
I love it. I love it. That is fantastic.
Well, that was the 3rd book.
And wow, it's a pretty thick book, too.
300 pages. But now it's only available at Amazon.com Kindle as an ebook.
Okay.
So I originally invested my money in all of these books. But now all the rest of my books are in ebooks.
And ebook that's the way, because we're becoming a paperless environment.
Right,
exactly. And if somebody wants, we can print what we want, but only this stuff with permission because it's copyrighted.
Yes.
Okay. So what do we have next?
Next we have Loving Black Women.
Oh, now, I like that. Tell me about it.
I made 500 copies. They're also. So now it's again only available at Amazon.Kindle.
Okay.
Amazon.com Kindle as an ebook.
Okay.
And
so wait a minute. You said Kindle. So if you don't have a Kindle, you can't get it.
Well, no. You can download an ebook to your desktop, to your laptop, to any media you have.
Okay, perfect.
Even to your phone.
Why do they call it Kindle? Because isn't Kindle another?
Amazon.com are for books that are paperback. And Amazon.com Kindle is for ebooks. And I'm happy you asked that question.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, teacher. Okay, tell us about Loving Black Women.
Well,
Professor, I'm sorry.
No,
give me your props.
I'm a teacher because I work in an adult school here in Pittsburgh. But I've always thought like I was all that in a cup of tea.
Yeah, and you are.
Well, thank you.
You are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this book here is called Loving Black Women. It's about my love for the black woman.
Oh, now tell me, why did you feel a need to put that on paper and make it a book?
Because as hip-hop introduced itself with a lot of bad language, the B's and the H's of hip-hop against the black woman, I felt more and more that I needed to express another view, another more mature and more intelligent point of view about the love black men and black women need to make it in this society.
Amen. Now that's what you call power to the people.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay, tell me about your book.
So this book here, again, it's a composite of spoken word.
Mm-hmm.
It has a little essay at the front about Sudan, talks about how Sudan is a country full of black people where they haven't found peace with each other yet. And that's from before, because this was in 2006. And now South Sudan is a free country, but they're still at war with each other, which points out to me that black folks need to have a charter of freedom and a list of things that they all agree on so they can avoid the internal conflict that causes our weakness. Well, our weakness is a part of the black scope all over the world, because where we have a strategic national black consensus as a people, we can get along, and where we don't, we tend to be at war with each other.
Because there are no laws.
Well,
and no, like, list or an agreement with what we're going to do and not to write a charter.
Exactly.
Right.
So but then this book gets into poetry after that, and this one here I'd like to read.
Oh, please, thank you.
Black woman, you're a poem. I saw you on United Airlines. I saw you homeless in San Francisco. Another time in Chicago, you said, your red, black, and green is live, not dead. Most appreciated black woman, though disrespected by some. To me, my sister, you are number one. We are nothing without you. We are whole with you, because you can be real, and that we can feel. You are our rhythm. You and our soul. You are our rhyme. You are our future's producer, making history and the future in our time. You are our beauty and you are our survivor. Please don't leave a black man for any other ride. Because you are our soul and our future continuation, mother of our black nation. Work with us for liberation. And you are our complement. Reflect us like the moon. Stick by us, and we shall obtain our liberation soon. Because though we are not quite what we should be, held back and oppressed by white society, you and I are one entity.
Amen.
Black woman, you are a poem. You are black history in motion. We really love you with all of our real devotion. And though we are not free or all we want to be, we cherish your company and love and appreciate you totally.
That was beautiful. Now, that was so beautiful. We could end the interview on that, but he has more. So tell us about the next book.
So the next book, after my late wife had died for many years, I had met a Nigerian friend in Hayward, and he wanted to introduce me digitally to his niece in Lagos.
He was trying to match me?
Right.
Okay.
And so I went over there to meet her after we talked on the phone a couple of years. And then when I got there, it was a little bit strange because she had to work all the time. But when I got back, things warmed up again. And so...
After you left and came back here?
Right. You know,
okay.
She became more available.
That's a red light.
It was a red light. I missed it.
I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah. That's why I had to write the book, Long Distance Love, to put the whole issue behind me.
That's the name of the book,
Long Distance Love?
Oh, wow. Finish telling us.
Okay, so that was my second trip to Nigeria.
Okay.
I went there, I met her parents and everything, but again, she was always so busy. But when we got back after 4 years of trying to get her visa, I finally was able to get her visa, and she came here one night, and then she stayed with her uncle a couple of days, and then her uncle says, come get your wife. And when I went down to get her, she came with me, but then she got as far as Antioch, but she didn't she entered my apartment, but she said, I can't stay here. Take me to a hotel, and we'll start in the morning. So I took her to a hotel, and when I got back the next morning, they were laughing at me because she was gone. Right. So, and I've heard this happened to a lot of Nigerian guys as well as African American guys.
She just wanted a visa.
Yeah, and she had another guy in mind in Chicago. But in order to regurgitate and get that out of my system, I put it down. So it's a story. It's called Long Distance Love, and I don't suggest any of it.
I love it. Okay. I love it. A how to not book. Yes. I love it. He's going to save you some pain.
Yes, exactly. Now,
what's next? I know there's more. My fifth
book is called American Challenges in the Obama Era, Parts 1 and 2. It's a book series.
Okay.
And it starts as Obama starts the presidency.
Oh, wow.
And so it was more like a summation of his first term. It's 200 pages. Again, it's an ebook at Amazon.com Kindle. And then the second book, American Challenges in the Obama Era Part 2, is also an ebook, and so it's part of a 2-book series. And again, both books try to cover the Obama presidency, but also looked at how so many people were shot and killed, like Ferguson, that during that time we were disempowered instead of being empowered with our brother in the office. And so why? And that's the question that I pondered in that book, and that's what I came up with, that we needed a strategic national black consensus from the street to the suite, from the west to the east, north and south, to keep us from having these regional differences and to mold us into a national body, a national group with national objectives like the end of voter suppression, the end of police brutality, the promotion of black self-development and black self-love.
Right.
So
you said we need to let's come together because we're more powerful.
Much more powerful
together than we are in one.
And we're much more weaker as we are divided.
Right.
So, but yeah, that was an 8-year time period.
Yeah.
And we saw a lot of development, but we did see a lot of the old stuff like police brutality still causing us pain in this country.
Because, they did a lot of things to Obama just because he was a black man.
Exactly.
They act like he didn't exist.
Or that he was a Muslim, or that he was from a foreign country or something.
Exactly. They didn't give him the respect that he was due, but and all that he did, because he came into presidency and he had to clean up Bush's mess because Bush started the war and we were in financial ruin. And Obama cleaned all that up.
He did a good job economically. But the jobs during that time were just jobs coming back from a depression. So they weren't the good jobs that he made the foundation for. It happened in the president's era more. And that's kind of sad. But Obama did a lot to bring the country back from ruin.
He did.
But he is one person, and one person cannot empower
do it all.
A whole people.
Right, just like Trump. As soon as he got in office, his goal was to undo everything Obama did. Now tell me, is there going to be a part 3?
Actually, no, but
because is this part 2 to cover the end of his presidency?
Yes, and it also drilled down
on
the strategic national black consensus as a proposal for our people to self-empower each other.
Excellent.
Now, I have one more book after that.
Oh, talk to me.
The 8th book.
Oh, wow.
And
I knew it. See, I knew you are just so talented and a wealth. You have a wealth of information. And I mean, it takes a lot to write a book. A lot of people talk about it. I've been talking about it for 20 years. And I haven't done it yet. So I know this is not easy. It's very difficult. And you've managed to write, how many books? 8?
Yes. This is my 8th book. And it's
Tell
called
us about it.
My Secular and Personal Letter to Black Boys.
Tell me about that title, because I know that you're saying it's a letter to black boys. When you say secular, what does that mean?
It means that I'm not going to take a religious road in the book because I'm a teacher. And actually I'm going to take an educator's view.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's what it is really personal, because I wasn't a perfect student either. Even if you read this book, I was a BSU president, and when all that follows with that.
Yeah.
But I have realized that we in the 80s got things kind of confused and started thinking, oh, if I'm trying to be smart, I'm trying to be white. And I wanted to ease that confusion.
People would say that to folks that were trying hard and going to school. Oh, you're trying to be white. You think you're white. Or if your language was had a European tone.
Right. It was not hood.
Exactly.
And so I grew up in the projects, so I know what the hood thing is.
Yeah.
But I also grew up in the regular community in Lakeville. So, and I know that we need something that goes across the board.
We can swing with the best.
Yes.
Okay, so finish telling me about that book.
So My Secular and Personal Letter to Black Boys is a book about how our ancestors worked hard night and day, but they were prevented from reading. they were prevented from learning. And so for us to honor them and their sacrifice, we have African ancestors and African American ancestors in this country who are in the soil here all over the country, north, south, east, and west.
Yes.
And since they worked hard for us to survive, the best way we can honor them is to learn how to read and write and to express ourselves and to read the real history you won't find in school. Because as a teacher, I know the level of Black history in school is not quite what it should be. Because the billionaire press publishes the school books, and they just omit so much of our history.
Exactly. We need to write our own history books.
We need to write our own
maybe
history.
You will. I mean, I know you're starting because you have a lot of the history in these.
Yes, yes. But the idea is we need to start succeeding in school instead of being disruptive in school, because as soon as we get home with our reading skills, we can read our own history. We can read John Henrik Clark. We can read Huey P. Newton. We can read the books that really happened during the time when our people were struggling for that freedom.
Yes.
And we can realize it's not a bad thing to be smart, or to go to college, or to
good thing.
It's a good thing.
Right, and what about later? Because they think that, oh, I'm not going to need this, I don't need to do this, I'm not going to this class.
And then you end up on the school-to-prison railroad. Or if you're not aware about artificial intelligence and face recognition, you end up going to rob someplace and your picture is smiling. So
and they can't get the jobs that their colleagues got when they were going to school, but their colleagues were focused on the books.
Right.
And the ones that are focused on thinking school is a social club, it's so important to get the education and knowledge now, because one thing you cannot do is go back in time. We can be sorry for the things that we've done and not done, but one thing we can't do is redo the past. So that's why every day we're supposed to do our best, and we learn from our mistakes, and we keep stepping up, and we'll be all right.
And one of the major points the book takes is because in the hood, in the neighborhood, we don't speak the most proper English. And that's okay. That's a survival tool. But when we get to school, we got a code switch. And we do have to learn the vocabulary.
Exactly. When in Rome, do as Romans do.
You have to learn it to have the access to the education. And you have to score good grades at an early age. Because now, taking loans is not the way to go.
That's right, because that interest will kill you.
Yeah, the interest will kill you. I can
testify
testify to that.
That's a trap.
But not only that, if you get good grades early, then you're able to apply for scholarships and grants that you don't have to pay back.
That's right, and people will even come and give you money.
Right, and the book was inspired by my management team.
Right on.
That car went off on the way from Sacramento
one of those folks, she didn't make it. What's her name? Donna?
Yeah.
Sorry you didn't make it, Donna, but you're doing good work. He's on fire.
Yeah, but the book tries to chart a path for Black young men to be successful, and it's based on Donna's request, and also because the Stanford-Harvard study that they promoted on Black boys said Black boys had the worst chance of any boys in the world. And so in order for us to address that kind of concern and not start having our kids jumping off the bridge, we got to give them some tools to survive that white man's education now. And that's what this book seeks to do. My eighth book, my secular and personal letter to Black boys and Black male minors.
Okay, I agree. And as far as the report, I want to comment on that because when it comes to surveys, are subject to the people that we get the information from. And even though we know our children are not on the top of the education podium, they're not on the bottom either. And we know that with hard work, because everything that he said was untrue, so, I'm all about extracting the truth.
Right.
And that says that we, as a people, need to do better.
Do better. Even back in the South, they used to, like my mama used to tell me, my late mama, thank you, mama, we have to do twice as good to get half as far.
That's right.
And so if we don't take that to effort and take that into our wisdom, then we don't learn how to read until it's too late, or until we're too old, or until, the time has passed where we could have learned it easily. And so this is how we honor our ancestors who wanted to work but had to pay cotton.
Right.
Who wanted to learn, but they had to obey the slave master.
That's right. They died so that we could have these privileges. So we don't want to throw them by the wayside like they don't mean anything, because that's disrespecting our ancestors. So we just keep going and keep going, and we made a lot of progress.
Yes,
there are a lot of people that I'm proud of, like you for one.
Well, thank you.
You're a shining example. Look at all this. This is not easy. That's education.
Yes.
So it can be done.
Yes,
it can be done. Here's a shining example.
Thank you.
And I bring you him during Black History Month. Now, Larry, tell me, 2019, let's say that.
All right.
Now, tell me about your future project. What's next for you?
Well, I don't know. I have a dream.
Tell me about it.
Well,
tell us about it.
Okay. Spike Lee actually befriended me on Facebook.
Oh, right on.
I don't know if that was to sell his memorabilia, or if that was because he wants to make a movie out of Journey to the Motherland. I certainly hope, Spike, if you're listening, make a book, make a movie out of this book, because then you'll demystify Africa in the best terms possible.
All right, right on. So we're going to try to get a link to Spike on this one right here. Journey to the Motherland?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to try to send him a link. I can send him a clip of it.
Yeah, because I actually, that's a dream, but I really hope it happens. But I also want to congratulate him on his finally winning the Oscar.
Wasn't that wonderful? I was so happy.
They hold the brother down. I remember looking at
and
Do
he
the Right
was
Thing.
So happy. Oh, he was so cute. I loved it. I'm like, oh, look at Spike. He looks so happy. Lord knows you earned it. You earned it. But you know what? Our time is not God's time, so to God be the glory, so it's always on time. He's always on time.
Spike, he earned it with Do the Right Thing, my book.
Spike earns a whole bunch of
School days,
awards, but we know that awards are given by the people that decide who they're going to.
Yes.
So, they're going to give them to their friends, people they know, people that are close to them, that have been pushed up to them.
Yes.
And we're just not close. We're like at the other table.
And that's what Alexander...
And they don't come to the other table often.
That's what Alexander told me back in the 83. Alexander said to me, he says, over the phone, he says, the reason they're not interested in you or your books is because you're not of their ilk. He says, but we'll never know if you stop writing books whether you could ever be a successful writer. He said, but if you keep writing, then we'll never know what that future would hold. And it could be a bright future.
And then we also have to realize that where they are, their table, there's a path to the table, and we can walk that path.
That's right.
know?
Yes, yes. And I hope there are other
be assertive.
young boys
Go up to them, take them your project, send it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I hope people will help me reach out to Spike Lee on that matter.
Okay, right on. I'm gonna try. Okay, you got me. Right on. Well, Mr. Larry Ukali Johnson-Redd, it's been an honor and a privilege.
And I thank you so much.
Thank you.
I thank you for coming all the way up here to
Thank you,
Pittsburgh.
Larry.
Thank you for coming up here.
You're welcome.
And you've made a dream come true that we both started some 7 years ago.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we'll tell them more about that later, because I've been knowing Larry for quite a long time, and he's always been nothing but honorable and a gentleman. So on that note, I say thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining Mr. Larry Ukali Johnson-Redd. Go get his butt, and we'll see you next time on the BreezeWay. Oh, wait a minute.
One last thing.
Go ahead.
Go to www.lovingblackwomen.com. That's my website. And it'll give you a quick link into Amazon.com under the books page. Okay,
well, since we're on that contact section, do you have a business email that you would like to share? If somebody wants to email you?
Yes, it's right here.
Okay. It's LarryReddMedia@gmail.com, and you'll see that below the picture at the bottom of the screen. Let me get this number.
Yes.
Okay, and this number is 1-888. Sounds like a toll-free number.
It is.
Oh, right on. 1-888-273-6666. 1-888-273. Let me say it again, 1-888-273-6773. And his email is LarryReddMedia@gmail.com. Okay, thanks and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye. Peace
Bye.
out.
That was really good. You did an excellent job.
Thank you.
So first thing, yeah.